Yeah, let's start off the SIcha.
It's very hard.
8:30. We want to try, it's not such a long SIcha, so we might be able to get through it if we start on time. That's the theory behind. If you want to read this is in
I'm
English.
from Yiddish.
Okay.
Maybe not. What is it?
Okay. So we know that um, sometimes us Yidden we need to give up our lives for the sanctification of Hashem's name. Now this thing that we have is a mitzvah by us, but it also comes we have a possibility we have a capacity as a Jews to do that because um we come from Avram and Sarah's stock. They're our ancestors, and they gave us a Yerusha of that feeling. But the truth is, you would think, is that being a martyr is not just a Jewish thing. All humans, or many types of humans, have in the past and unfortunately also currently given up their lives for what they believe in. So how could we claim that it's like a some Jewish concept? And even so this is where what the Rebbe is going to deal with. And then he's going to deal with a few more issues. But let's start off. So B'shakes zu Nisoyin HaAkedah, was ist gewesen der Center von der Asar Nisyonis, was Nasa Avram Avinu. So regarding the test, the challenge of the Akedah, of binding of Hashem telling Abraham to bind his son Yitzchak. So this was the 10th, the last test. Sagt die Gemara says, as das, was der Eibusher hat gesagt, zu Avram, kach no es bin Fall Gomer, kosher. So why did he say it? Why did he say please? Why did Hashem say please?
Oh, no.
Why did he say
Why
please?
does he use no?
Yeah. What do you think?
Why shouldn't be kach is big for?
Right. Why didn't he say please? Main to Zogin, so the Gemara says that what is Hashem saying? The Nisisicha b'cham nishtenis, v'anda b'kulam you already had 9 tests and you passed them. So please um, please bystand this challenge so that this will prove that even the first ones were okay. That it will prove that it's not true. What people will say is that there's no point of there was no substance to the original tests. So we have to understand. Was der Tam was, wenn Avram wollte nicht beigestanden dem Nesoin Akedo, wollte man gesagt, ein Gumisch berescheinem. So what's the reason that anyone would have there would be any credence to say that didn't pass this test, so therefore the first 9 weren't really you didn't really pass them. Das was das wird nur gemeint, als es ist never schön ist, also ich feel wie es man in the Arcade. So fine. So let's just say that he was able to give up his life to the level of the first 9, but not to the 10th. Says Amber davon nicht keine Choche, but to say as the Aleph are Friediker Initianis was Avram was beigestanden is ein Mamish, so there was no challenge, there was no difficulty over there. Well, we found it in the same arcade is given on the same kosher b'yisr, and anyways, we see that the 10th test was the greatest test. So in close Pashas Akeda, so the Rebbe starts off.
What we're going to say to the Ebershter, 1 second, you change your mind. You told me that Kibe Yitzchok call Chazera. Now you change your mind. You say, no, the Chelek.
Right, that's one of the reasons given why Akeda was a greater
Well, he
test.
had a solid answer to say the Ebershter. I'm
Right.
going to do what you want.
Exactly.
But 1 second, this is
Meaning he has a proof. He didn't have to.
You contradict yourself. You told me Kibe Yitzchok
Right.
Chazera, so it just doesn't make sense.
Right. The Rebbe is going to use this as a reason why this is really what teaches us how to have Mesiras Nefesh. We'll see. We will get there.
The Kabbalah Soda,
Yeah.
It wasn't a
meaning
there
there
was
was
no
no,
something.
there was,
There's no
yeah.
if, what, why.
Even if his nefesh kiss couldn't come up to, even the seichel of his nefesh kiss couldn't fathom to do such a thing. It was even him as a holy person, as a person that wants to do what Hashem wants, and and believes in Hashem and thinks that everything needs to be done um to make people realize that Hashem exists. So even on that level, it didn't make any sense. So fine. In close, Pashas Akedah, Vazi is kol Karen Yisrael is chosam lefnei avim shabashamayim belochin hishgura befinu b'tfilosenu kol hayom is a do the shaila. So in regards to in general, the parsha of the Akedah being that this is the standard, this is what showed us and taught us and gave us the koyach to be a yid on the level of Avram Avinu, so much so that we actually say the Akedah every single day by davening. So this causes a question. This causes a thing that we need to understand. From Buster Monin, Mir Tomen Akedas Avram Besitzchok, here's my Akedas Kolachsin Makdeshim Shemasr Atzmam Akshut Hashem Yisparich. Why are we constantly referring back to the Akedah of Avram and Yitzchak if we saw Akedas through the years? And we saw people being Meiser Nefesh. You get Rabbi Akiva Chavirov, and you want to go to the Sarir Gamalchus, and anyways, the Kedoshim of all generations until this very day. Ufatas by Avram is Hashem Diver Bekor. Ach no, especially that Avram, Hashem was telling him to please go and bring me Yitzchak as a oil.
Command them to do Akiras Hashem.
He's not saying you have to, but still he's saying please. And Hashem didn't speak to them, and they still gave up their lives to sanctify Hashem's name. It's nicht maspik der Endfers. It's not enough to just say, as meiste never sein, an eigen Kind Hashem is a sach schwerer und tiefer, wie zu meiste never sein, sich allein Hashem. To simply say that Avram had to give up his own son, which is a much greater. It's harder than to give up his own life. We already see that Chana and gave up her 7 sons. And she himself said, meaning Avram, she was alluding to that her Mesiras Nefesh was even greater than Avram, because Avram only had one Mizbeach, and she gave up 7 children. And by other times when Yidden were being forced to convert to Rahman al given fallen, there were times when Yidden haben nicht nur sich allein Meiser Nefesh given al Hashem. They didn't just give up their own lives to sanctify Hashem's name, nor euch zeir Kinder b'chuluk, also their children's lives, as is known. They're safe. So, first of all, we're going to get to a few answers that are given throughout the ages, and the Rebbe is going to show how that it's not a good enough answer. It doesn't fully answer our issues. The Sefer Ikrim. So first of all, the Sefer Ikrim is Masber explains as the Chiddush von Akedas Yitzchak verstanden in dem was Leinis Orbe Poel Akedah Shum Tzad Hefech Klau. He wasn't compelled to do it in any way. Anyways, it was before Matan Torah, so he had no mitzvah. It wasn't like he was commanded to do it. Like we are taught al pasuk Hashem Yireh. Omer Avram Fnekash Baruch Hu Ben Shloim Goli Vidul V'Nachas Shebashosha Martyr Lekachnas Pinchas Yitzchak after Yitzchak Leila Yisiyachalem V'Lekvar Martyr Li Kibitz Zikol Chazara. Like what you mentioned, that it's mentioned in where's it in Medrash that Avraham told Hashem that the truth is that I could have wiggled out. There was wiggle room. I could have said that, hey, you already mentioned that Yitzchak is going to be the next generation of teaching about Yiddish, teaching about Hashem. And I didn't say that. I put away. I pushed away my wants. So this shows from this, it's obvious שאפילו מצד מצווה השם יסברך לא יעבור ממוכח אחר. שהיה יכול להסנצל על זה ממנו ותיינה אמיתיס אם רוצה. He could have actually gotten away with not doing it, because even with regards to this, that Hashem told him to please do it, he could have used a mitzvah to to bypass it. The mit is the Ran Masber, so the Ran actually mentions what's state kachno. Why is it means please? Why is Hashem saying please? It wasn't that he was forced. It wasn't a command that he had to do it. So the Rebbe goes back to the Kedoshim, the others other than Avram Avinu, was haben sich meist never gewen a Kiddushim, ba deire shel achze, sie haben is das getan mit seinem Zivui und ich dachte sich von Israel. They had a mitzvah to sanctify, that Hashem should be sanctified between or in middle of Yidden.
There's a mitzvah of Kiddush Hashem. Avraham Avinu did not have this mitzvah. He did it on his own. They have the mitzvah of Kiddush Hashem. Avraham Avinu did not have the mitzvah of Kiddush Hashem.
Right, so it's even greater. So it's even greater because he went on his own volition. Okay. On his own accord. Albert does is nit very mas because it's still not a sufficient explanation. So first of all, anyways, it's hard to say as you can't just say that Hashem is just saying please. He doesn't say that you have to do it. Because when Hashem himself asks for something and pleads for something, and was mekenzich der mitigen, even though it might be possible to argue, is is. So still, it's still an imperative. You have to follow. It's Hashem himself saying please.
Like by Moshe Rabbeinu, Hashem goes to take out my soul. He said, "You talking to me? Talk to my brother. I'm the gang game and this." And it's like a conversation, like he has like a solid reason to the Ebershter. Avraham Avinu could have this conversation with the Ebershter. I want to make Kiddush Hashem, but something is wrong. If I do it, maybe I do opposite of Kiddush Hashem.
No, but to say that there's a conversation that it's not. Okay, I hear what you're saying. Meaning, why are you saying that Befrat by Avraham Avinu it was hecher? If anything, it's the other way around because he had conversations. There was a back and forth.
No, it's like I'm not mafriach you.
Right, and Avram himself is having conversations, and other times Avram Avinu is pushing back with the Malachim and the cities.
How I know?
By the cities that were overturned.
So we got punished with those kids will be 400 years ago.
Right. Right, that's also okay. Aber zwischen die Kedoshim anal seine gewinner Sache, was ist never shall Kiddush Hashem is not given verbunden mit Achiv Tzivah Shalter. And anyways, we know that some of Yidden that were Meiser Nefesh had no they were not forced based on Torah itself, but by mitzvahs themselves. Adrabba, sie haben gedacht, deruf is a heter al pi halacha. They actually needed a heter al pi halacha. Gedur die Shagav Torah with a sim meg sich Meiser Nefesh sein. Of them was Alpidin is Vayeira. Right, there was once a train during the time when Yidden were going out of Russia after the war, when they had, if you had Polish passports, you were able to leave.
To go back to Poland.
So a lot of Siddim either forged them or somehow just try to pay their way out. And it was hard to get even trains. Everyone knew that it was, meaning the government knew that it was shady business, whatever. But one time they found out that there's going to be a train on Shabbos, and the Rabbanim came together, and the Lubavitcher Rabbanim, the Rabbanim of the city, and they said that we have to go on Shabbos, you have to go because we don't know when it's going to be the next one. And this is Sakonis Nifachos.
The plane to Amsterdam,
right?
Pick of Jewish people.
So, but Mayor Gurkov said he's not gonna. That's my great grandfather. He's not gonna go. And they got his grandson just passed away.
That's the grandson, the one from Boston.
Meishke is Mayor
Is the
Gurkov's
grandchild?
grandson.
Whoa, so you're talking about over 100 years ago, 100 something years ago.
No, he passed away in 1975. This is 1940. He was already older. He was a bacher in the Samachs, whatever.
So,
He was
so
a buck.
he said, even though Al Pi Halacha, I'm allowed to go Shabbos, I'm not going Shabbos.
Yeah, he's not going. But I'm gonna go be Michal Shabbos. No, I'm not gonna go. And the Rabbanim came and said, "You have to." No, he's not going. In the end, the train didn't leave
So
till
Moshe
after
Shabbos.
Shabbos. Till after
It
Shabbos,
was never,
and
yeah,
they
it was against
and
Halacha.
he and his grandson
No, he took him to the train.
Shmuel David stayed with him. He was the oldest of the oldest grandson. He was a bacher then, and he stayed with him. And then they had to rush to the train, and the train waited for them. I mean, not that it waited, but the
Yeah,
train
it was
didn't
never
leave till after
Shabbos,
Shabbos.
right.
Good. So this is obviously a shaklavataria if he's even able
Al
to
Pi
use it.
Halacha, you're allowed
Api
to go.
halacha, you have, if anything, you have to. Right. Okay. Good. This do you do Okay, so what does Chassidus say? Was bringt it in Chassidus? Der Uftu, so the Chassidus is going to say that really Avram Avinu was the tzino. The Avram Avinu made it normative, so to speak. Der Uftu von Avram Avinu ist bestanden darin, was ist gewähnt der Erste, was ist beigestanden im same serious number. She was the first one to pass this test. Was der Scholle von jener Sache ist Kasher Vayeira. The first one, in Loshana Yido Kolas Koshes, the first one is pushing the boundaries. Something that's not normative is obviously harder than something that it's already innate. Something that's subconsciously already part of a psyche is obviously easier than something that's not even there. You have to like break yourself to get to. Okay. Aber nachdem wie Avram Pasach hat gegeben dem Zinner vom Sirs Nevesh ist nicht geworden in Welt der Koyach am Sirs Nevesh und der Fahr ist das nach dem Asach Finger jetzt mit ab das nor Aris bringen in a faithful pile. We still have to do something. Okay, so we're just taking it from potential into actually expressing it. There's aber nicht moving, but still it's not understood. Der Inam says Nevesh Pale is nicht geworden durch Avram Avinu noch früher wie den Nisayon Akedah, but didn't he already give up his life earlier than Akedah by the Nisayon von Urkazdim? He already did it by Urkazdim. Und Avram Avinu hat sich eingestellt mit Avsir, nämlich zu vertilken kol mit Avodasarum und Farsam Sanu Kus Ba'elam. He bis der Ram bringt das Bezifroi euch Bezifroi Sefer Halachis in Hayat ad Gisham Agush Lahargim and Asalei Nes. So we already see in Urkastim, this was years before, that he did it on his own volition, right? He wasn't told to do anything. It wasn't like Hashem told it to him. We're going to see later that it was really his thought process that came to it. But for sure, he was doing it because he reasoned that he has to even give up his life because teaching the world that Hashem exists and we need to serve him is so great, even more important than his own life. So that was already done by Orkastim. So why are you saying that this was first taught by Akedah if it was even earlier? Nachmer, the same from Orkastim hat in sich noch hayisen gabi kon dem Nisayon Akedah. Warum der Nisayon Akedah is given up here from the yeah, like what I just said, Nisayon from Orkastim was by himself. He wasn't told to do it. Without other in Akedah is not given der erste Fall from Sis Nevesh. It wasn't the first. Even by Avram himself, it wasn't the first. So we get back to the original question. In Vosba steht die Meile Hamyuchada von Nisayon Akedah. What's so unique about the challenge of the Akedah? So now the Rebbe is going to really talk about what really Mesiras Nevesh means. Wenn man das verstehen, Martyr, in der Kiddush Mesiras Nevesh Bechlal. What's so novel? What's the quality of Mesiras Nevesh in the first place? When Abira as Avram had geöffnet dem Zinoi, you're going to go and say that Avram already brought the pipeline. Azach was bringt Mayim Kitz was a pipeline is something that brings from one place to the next. From a that it's brought into this world, this movement, as on them is Netadim Tzias from Mesiras Nevesh Ba'olam. So you would think if this is the pipeline, that means it wouldn't be there, if it wouldn't be in this world other than it. So first of all, he explains what that even means. It's to negate our own existence. I never meant, what does this mean when someone exists? Someone that's created, it means that he exists. Is moving as a never can be on his own volition, his own existence it cannot be negated on its own, because by it being created, automatically it can't decreate itself. Yeah, nicht zu kommen zu Hecher von Metzies, weil der ein Choshev Martyr Atzmai, someone that's in jail can't take himself out of jail. It has to be someone out of jail to take him out, right? Because he's bounded on by his own existence, in its own place. He's already bound. By definition, someone that's in jail is in jail. So how could he take himself out of jail if he's already in jail? Okay. It has to be from somewhere else. So therefore, we have it seemingly we need to understand. By non-Jews, we also see Mesiris Nefesh. Is das Svara. Even if we're going to go and say, SIcha ben Noach is a mitzvah Hashem. Yeah, might say, oh, there's also a mitzvah by non-Jews. As einige Wellen kama fallen lahabdil, but there were some cases when sie haben sich gelost umbringen zu lieb sehr munis v'teis v'chuli. But they actually non-Jews sacrificed their lives for their faith and beliefs.
Yeah, professor in college that had an idea, and he'll go to death to his idea. I don't care what happened. He want to prove that his idea is, that's the right.
Right. The Rebbe is gonna parse out all the details.
No, he's sugar. He's not serious. He's in sugar.
Yeah, almost like killing people.
I'm saying he's
right. He's going to talk about kings. It's kind of, in a way, it's kind of the same thing. Okay. So the Rebbe is going to say what he thinks is the answer. Das allein, was mentioned, is great. Weggeben sein Leben vor dem Ewigsten Degen is noch nicht border as das is amitis in from sis never from bitalametzias. This that someone wants to give his life over for Hashem is not already doesn't show that the person is actually giving away his own existence. As Ken sein, it's possible as is sich meist another Stefar was by im kumtois apisech of cheshbon as es leint sich im mer wie bleiben leben fardin aggressor zach. That it's possible that someone could come to the thought process, his thinking will come to the state to realize that it makes more sense for him to give up his life than to stay alive.
But the Arab, they want to kill themselves. I get 72.
Well, good, yeah. When I'm a serious nevesh, was is in ganzem Yusen auf Cheshbon, Kanal kann sein, lahabdul euch bei Musailem. Keiner meint, als durch Meister nevesh sein, sich wird verdienen. Es wird ihm zukommen, wie Metzias, will actually have a greater existence. Oder inside Ashlila, or on the other hand, Oiber wird nicht der Griechen a gewissen in is Lamalechayim, or to say that because he thinks of life a certain way, so then if he doesn't have such a life, so then what's the point? If, let's say, like if someone has a desire to have something, and his desire is so overcoming his own existence, if he doesn't have what he wants, he'll just lose he'll just have, either he doesn't want to live, or he'll just get so overwhelmed that he'll just have a heart attack or something. But then we also see natzchanus, or if someone, let's say, someone wants to be victorious. Someone's in an argument, and he might die. He might give up his life just so that he could win the argument. Right? So then, that's not that he's negating his existence. He's proving, right? He's proving his existence so much by giving up his life. But the true Mesiris Nefesh is Meiser the Nefesh, dem Ir. He negates his own existence, his own self. His whole self is given over. was ist Hecher von, excuse me, von allerlei Cheshbenes, von Seichel, oder Regisch vergeht zu sein. Wir sind ganz in Worte zum Ebersten, und ich finde, als die eigene Metzies ist klar nicht Teufels Makim. So he's completely negates his own self is just about Hashem. So then it's not that he comes to the realization, it's not that he thinks it through and it makes sense. No, he doesn't even go through that whole thought process. Yeshloimar, as begili blishum safik, Vayeira is das gewend der öfter und imui in dem Sinne akil gabe dem Nisayan von Rukastim. So this shows, at least it proves, it was proven to us that this was by Avram Avinu, specifically by Akedah and not by Urkazim. Why? Because the Mesiris Nevesh in Urkazim is Bashalim them. What was the Mesiris Nevesh over there? Was Avram hat sich meistens Nevesh gewähnt auf dem Pirsum von Amunah Bashem Ba'olam und darüber kann sein, dass Ba'olam, also Mesiris Nevesh ist gewähnt auf Pi Cheshbon Nikdusha. Being that he was doing it in order to publicize believing in Hashem in the world, so then it's possible to, from our perspective, to think that, it's actually, he thought it through, at least a holy thought process, but he thought it through and it made sense to him. Sein Überzeugung in der Neutigkeit von Lahoyer, es Eilem Shayim Shabash Ba'afela, ist gewähnt mit dieser Starkheit, bis als hat sich nicht gerechnet mit kein Meinea, hat sich der Ruf Meisenemesh gewähnt. So he's gonna not care, he's gonna be killed, doesn't matter. This is what's important, and that's it. Mashiach Akedah mit Zaratzmai on its own accord, what was actually happening, hat nicht vermocht, came from under Zach. There was really nothing going on there. Nor was he really Kimato. It was really just because he fears Hashem. Und der Pfarrer hat Avram sich Meisenevesh given because Hashem told him, therefore he's going to do it. Not for nothing else. It didn't make any sense to him. In any effect. Es ist dabei auch viel nicht gewähnt, der ihnen vom Fassung sein, bei Elam wie tief man darf sein, übergegeben zu bestehen. It wasn't even like anyone's even going to find out. Vor allem wie der Ibn Ezra sagt, Beshosh Okad Benoi, weil Yeshua Afilu No'arav. Even Yishmael and Eliezer weren't there. They were, Avram told them to stay back.
Right. Nobody was but there.
But somehow, when I was learning this, I was thinking that
there is still the Malach,
well, what about the
he told him you stay here, and
what about the giant? Oig was able to see.
Yeah, but he wasn't there.
But Oig found out about it.
He saw that he was trying to
He saw, so he was able to see.
Yeah, but he wasn't there.
It doesn't matter. It's not the Nicola.
Yeah.
Then he purposely left people behind. He didn't know.
Okay. Avram Avinu didn't know that Oig saw.
He's doing it because
the question is if it's not that no one saw. It's that Avram Avinu didn't know that anyone saw.
No, he did it.
Meaning, even if Oig saw, but Avram Avinu wasn't doing it because Oig saw. Okay. Good. So we figured it out. Very good. Is es gewöhnlich zu dem Minimum von Pirsum Likkutei Sichos. And if anything, it's opposite of his Nefesh of what he really wanted to do about publicizing Hashem in the world. Durch Meilesein, when he's making Yitzchak into Oila, his whole work was into continuing from one generation to the next. This whole job of bringing Hashem into the world. So now he's killing Yitzchak. There wouldn't be any continuation.
It's against his own seichel.
Right. The ganze Inham ist never staked geworden, nor weil der Eibusher hat gewollt und gebeten das und der Pfarrer hat das Avram getan. So it's really just because Hashem wanted and pleaded to him to do it. So therefore he did it. Und in dem ist bestanden der Auftu von Nisayan Akedah, was Avram Avinu ist beigestanden. So this makes Akedah unique.
No, the nine
and not just, first of all,
says yes,
right.
ideology, and he followed the ideology to death.
Right, he's an action. Maybe he's just an action.
Here he's doing something that mamash against his own ideology, and nevertheless,
Right.
listen to them.
But then this shows not just that the Akedah is never should given by Ifin as a Tulgamer nit kein Ablegen Sechel. As a man nit wieder zu einer Versprachung bit. Okay. Oh, we're gonna get later.
Nothing is his
Yeah.
doesn't get nothing from
Right. So therefore there's bittul b'mtzias. It's completely negating his own existence. Even his nefesh. Yeah. Apikolanaal is that this proves that the first ones were also okay.
The same power.
Yeah. When Avram volt Khalil nit beigestanden in seiner Akede, what man gekannt meinen Vayeira, meaning it's possible in this world to say, as er ist beigestanden, the Friediker in the fire, was es eine gewinn hätten zu SIcha diktusha. Es ist nevesh mamish, that's Ausschuss an nevesh, is a kopanamini idea. We don't know if he's actually going to give up his own his total being. He's not just going to be a subservient to Hashem. It could be that it just made sense to him, even a holy thought process. Durch them was beigestanden in seiner Akeda, das befinden nach Freya. So now we know, even the first line is that it was really from the same point of view. Mit fuller Weggegebenkeit betachlis habitl.
That's why here the just says no.
Right.
He's asking you. I want the whole world to see that the first 9 it was also the same.
Because he
you could have said, I passed just 99. I'm very good. I'm almost 100. It's okay. No. I want to prove that all 9 was the same.
He doesn't answer the no part so fast, does he?
The middle one?
That's the answer.
No, he asked
He didn't ask why no. He doesn't ask why no. He didn't.
No, that was just says over here, please do it.
What you're saying, the Rebbe didn't answer that specific thing. Meaning that when he brought out the thing about please or not, it was really just to say it was the Rebbe was negating the answer that it wasn't really a mitzvah.
Oh.
But we don't know. But the Rebbe didn't give his own answer of why Hashem said no, which is actually interesting. Why didn't they put that in? Because that's an automatic, this is just an offshoot of what we just said. Like what you said, it just makes sense to be.
No, if you just no, right? It's like giving a home of you have you choose yes or no.
Oh,
not
for
an option. Here, I'm asking you, like, I'm not giving you an option. Please.
Right.
Please,
if anything, please is like it's more than a tzivud.
Avram did it without the option.
Without the option.
Meaning Hashem gave him an option.
Yes, and nevertheless, I went on my end and my own, and it says no.
Right. No questions without
no question. Just because I command like a soldier in the army. I understand. Do you understand? You don't jump from the window. I jump.
Right,
yeah. Das ist der Biur in dem, was die Sichos erzählen bei ihm, es ist never beim Nisayin Akira und nicht durch dem Nisayin durch Kasten. So why is this the pipeline says like how does this why did this bring it into this world? Why was this one? Sichos erzählen says never as Avram Avinu hat Merish gewen. So you in dem Koyach says never shmamish that he transmitted it to us. Emissar Mesiris Nevesh, true Mesiris Nevesh, business us is there. Emissar lots of funny other Yidden, even to that it's already a truth in our own being. It's actually that we want. It's the definition of a Yid is to be such a person. First of all, when a Yid is sich meist Nevesh fahren nebestin, I feel in life was bechitzen is kommen meinen. As es mit bin is es bei Emes nicht Mesiris Nevesh application nor Mesiris Nevesh mamish. A Yid geht weg sein ganzen Mamoshes zum Eibestin. L'maylo mikol cheshbon wieder in Seyin Akeda. So after the Akeda,
we are the power to do it now more than Avram Avinu Kilo. But he opened the valve.
Right. So now it's already so true to us, so true that even if someone might think that it's really a cheshbon, even then it's still really in by truth, but yeah. Meaning, even if it doesn't get into the person's seichel, really the truth of a yid, the truth of a yid is to be that way. Yeah.
But I have the $11 by the goyim when they want to kill themselves to kill a Jew and this, and it's like he's a shaheed, he's a this, right? What does it mean? Oh, I have a favor from that. That's why I'm doing it.
Meaning it's not right. A yid is not just a human. Meaning a yid is not just a human. Meaning human capacity, by definition, a human could come up with a theory. A person could think it through and come up to the realization that it actually makes sense, give up his life.
Yes.
That as part of a human. But a yid, which came from Avram Avinu caused us to not just be human, but also be superhuman, to have the capacity to get even past just a cheshbon of Mesiras Nefesh, but actually taking
yeah. My rotzen is nothing.
Yeah.
My life is nothing.
Bis wie der alte Rebbe bringt in Shulchan Aruch as Tov leben b'cholim pashut ha'akeda gam k'dei lachnia yitzer lavid Hashem yisparek k'mo shemasa yitzchak nafshay. So what is he saying? That till now it makes it sound like really what's going on is that now we have the capacity to have Mesiras Nefesh. But what does that have to do with every day? Baruch Hashem, we don't have to get them.
The first thing you start in the day is Mesiras Nefesh.
Okay, right. So the Alter Rebbe says in Shulchan Aruch, in Halacha, that it's a good idea, it's proper to say this Akeda. Why? And also it causes it serves as a way to make us to be inclined to give ourselves over like Yitzchak, like giving over Yitzchak's nefesh. The Lechera, wie kann man zugleichen die Avodah von jeder Yidin lachni Yitzel Avodah Hashem Yisborech, sind was Yitzchak nafshe. But as going to say that betachas hashlemet kanal. So he was complete and total self-sacrifice. It doesn't have to do with our little challenges that we face in our daily life. Nor weil durch dem, was Avram hat besach gewend dem Zinner am Sis Nefesh Mamish, ist jeder Avodah von einer Yidin, welche ist doch Zer Avram, aben v'yedish Avram, me'rasha kilistakev, lachnia Yitzel Avodah Hashem Yisborech, k'mo shemasa Yitzchak nafshay. So by us having it in our blood, in our DNA, it's already a constant possibility to have to live our lives that way. Just like to live our life in a way of giving ourselves over. So it's punkt vi Avram führt ihm zu der Akeda. It's just like Avram is taking Yitzchak to the Akeda. Weil das ist der Emetzer Rotzin von jeder Jünin sich abgeben mamisch zum Ebersten, because could argue both ways. This is from two Sichos. It's Vayeira Lamed Aleph.
More than Yitzchak would say,
because you're a father.
Well, the father has to live with it for the next 30 years that he killed the son. The son is dead. He doesn't care. He's dead.
I heard from Rabbi Lau, so he said
meaning if Yitzchak would have been Abraham, would Avraham be any less Avraham? On the other hand, if Avraham would be Yitzchak, would Yitzchak be any less Yitzchak? Meaning
because
they're the same. They're the same.
Because Yitzchak is his son, and Yitzchak is Avraham is giving the Yerusha from Mesiras Nefesh. He gives the Yerusha that the first one is his son. The son learned from the father. He saw nine tests he passed, so he already got it. He got the hint.
He didn't have any kids. He wasn't married yet.
Rabbi said he was 37-year-old. He wasn't a baby. Rabbi said it says Vayashkam Avram Aboker. If you had him Shatori tomorrow morning, you're slaughtering your son. How could you go to sleep? The Torah says Vayashkam Avram Aboker. How to go to sleep? That's now I do what Abisha says. Now I'm going to sleep. Wow.
You know any Mesiras Nefesh stories from your family?
No, that's another word.
No, so say something.
My father
turn the camera. We have 20 minutes.
My father it's a girl in a school. There was a girl that learned in a school in Bnei Brak, not Chabad school, and she wasn't feeling good, and she went